Hello and welcome to another video critique. This time around we're going to be looking at DJ Hanssen's work, and yeah, here it is right on the screen. Once again, we're going to be looking at the images as images, and then looking at them as to how well they fulfill the requirements of the assignment, just like always. And yet, I seem to always say that at the beginning. Alright, so I get 3 sets of images here, and I'm actually going to go in for a little bit more in-depth view here. So his adjustments are definitely subtle. What I'm seeing here, the original, and then it looks like on this one, this middle one here, you have I'm seeing more red here. Again, it's real subtle, but I'm seeing more saturation in the reds, and then here I'm seeing like slightly more green. Seeing some green in here and then in here. Definitely very subtle, very subtle. In terms of the image itself, I think this is actually kind of a cool image. I don't know if anyone's ever submitted images of sea turtles to my class before, so that's pretty cool. What do I want to do here? I like how it's looking, but I feel like this is slightly distracting in the background. I feel like you either want this to be a vertical, right? So this would be like the lower 2/3 of the vertical image, and then it would extend up here to either get like these two turtles and sort of more of a feeling of the space of the image sort of pushing back. So you have this kind of a idea of a diagonal going off into the distance, or you want to make it a little bit tighter. And it's tough because maybe a little tighter, a little shallower depth of field would sort of make this guy back here less of a thing, or maybe it's a girl. Can't really tell turtle gender. But yeah, I feel like you guys can't see it right now, but I'm sort of like using my finger to crop off the top of the image right here, just seeing what that does. So that's a thought. Yeah, I think this is a cool. There's some really cool detail in it. Let me see if I can I'm just going to go into single image mode here for just a second. Oops. Except excuse me. I didn't have the image I wanted to look at selected. So that was kind of there we go. Okay, now let's go ahead and zoom in here. So we get some really nice detail in these areas. You get like a real sense of like the texture, you know. There's a term that we sometimes use called sensual, and I don't mean like in some kind of, you know, adult way, but just like the idea that the way that you capture something in your camera, you almost, like the viewer can almost like feel the texture of what it would be like to reach out and touch this thing. I think that's something that image is actually doing really well. Next set of images here, we have your friend. This looks like the same friend from the last one. And again, really subtle adjustments here. I'm seeing a bit more like cyan here in the sky. Like this looks more cyan being sort of a bluish green, whereas this looks more like actually blue. And then overall this one looks a little more yellow in her in here, and also slightly like you bumped up the luminance a bit. Again, really subtle. A lot of times what people will do is they'll sort of give me a bit of a range. So they'll be like original, pretty subtle change, and then a more drastic change. I think that might even be in the instructions. Yeah. I feel like, I don't know, I feel like maybe I want you to push that a little bit more in the future. Like if you come up against something like this again, like really push that idea. These last images, again, adjustments are pretty subtle. What I like about this is I like the way that this is put together. Like I feel like the angle on this, the perspective is pretty nice. I'm digging the colors in this. I feel like they work well. So the green, the orange, and then, the orange and then the red. Yeah, did I say pretty subtle? Again, pretty subtle. I'm seeing the biggest difference I see is in some of the reds here. Like this, the reds are a lot more pink. So something to look out for. You're pushing pretty close to having blocked up highlights. There's just enough info in here, like I can just discern a little bit of detail, but you're getting pretty close to having blown out highlights on this guy. So you know, it's something to watch for. Yeah, this is nice. I like. There's also a nice. There's just a little bit of a highlight right in here. I think that really works well to sort of, again, give the viewer a sense of texture in this area. Yeah, I feel like these are working out pretty well. So overall, that was a little bit more than I wanted to do here. Overall, I feel like your most successful image is probably one of these street bike ones. Yeah, these street bike images are nice. I like the use of color. The lighting is pretty good. I also feel like these portraits are fairly successful. I think probably this one. I feel like of the three, that's the version I feel like works the best. And yeah, I feel like I do like this first one quite a bit. I like the subject matter, although I think that this might be possibly the least successful. Again, pretty. I mean, none of them are really unsuccessful. I guess this is just the one that's working the least well for me. I think it's maybe just what's going on here. You really just have to be careful of stuff on the edge of your frame. But again, it's not as though you can lift this guy up and move him, or this guy or gal. Again, not good at turtle genders. But yeah, I feel like overall this was good. So, what should we have? How about football? Yep, football. That is the word that you should post below on the discussion forum below where you found the link for this video. Just go ahead and type football. And yeah, thank you for joining me once again, and I will see you the next time around.